Welcome back to another episode from our show, Marriage on the Rock. This episode is all dedicated to parenting. One of the verses that was repeated twice in St. Paul's epistles is very intriguing. In Ephesians, he wrote, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord." And in Colossians, he said, "Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged." Why this verse is repeated twice in two different epistles? And what does it mean by provoking our children? If I ask the parents, they will say, "You are mistaken. You should say, 'Sons, do not provoke your parents.'" So, what does it mean when the Bible says, "Parents, do not provoke your children"? How do we provoke our children? Many things. One of them is severe punishment. When a parent becomes extreme in his or her punishment, you are making the child feel provoked, angry from within. Because he or she will say, because they are older, because they are stronger, because they are bigger, because they know that I cannot respond back. When a parent complains to another adult about their kids and the kids hear them, they get very angry, provoked, because you are opening up the weaknesses and the defects of your own children to others. When you don't trust your children, you tend to go to a level of provoking. Because they made a mistake, but all of a sudden, before they make the same mistake again, you say, I know you will do this. And all of a sudden, they get angry. They feel unfairly judged because you are doubting them and you are not trusting them. We provoke our children when we ignore their feelings. A kid who is angry and we don't find why. A kid who feels jealous from somebody. A girl who comes from school and she's crying and we belittle her feelings. A guy who comes in and probably was bullied in school and we don't spend time trying to learn about his or her feelings. Even when sometimes they hush us and they say, "I don't want to talk about it," we give in. They get provoked. When we exaggerate, and we tend to do that many times, we exaggerate the issue. We make a big deal out of sometimes very little things. We provoke them. When we mock them, when we belittle them, when we underestimate their personality, their opinions. "Oh, you are going to answer? Oh, now you are going to speak? Now you have an opinion in this?" Continuous critical eye criticism. When a parent is always negative and always tell her daughter, "Why you are not an A+ student? Why can't you be A+ student?" But she cannot be A+ in everything. She's very good in science and social studies, but she's not good in math. Accept that your daughter cannot be a student in everything, but you are critical. You don't look at the A+ she has, but you only look at the B- she had in math. Underestimating their feelings of being angry, being unjustly treated in the game, being anything, makes them provoked. When we fail to communicate with our kids, when we stop talking and we tell them this is it and it has to be done this way and no argument, you leave no space for venting and they get provoked. When we embarrass our children in front of others, you're standing in the church hall and somebody comes and talks to you and then your kid comes asking for money and say, "Did you tell uncle what you did in school last week? Did you tell Tant that you had a detention? Very embarrassing. And your kid gets so provoked. Extreme tight care to the extent of microscopic parenting. You want to micromanage every single hour of your kid. You provoke them. When you threaten, and sometimes the threats are empty, but you still give it. They know, oh, Dad would never do that. We know it. It gets them angry. When we keep repeating the thing many times or almost nagging, we provoke them. When we make up our mind without any consideration of their opinion and no further discussion or communications, and my opinion is the ultimate one, we provoke them. When we ask my kid to do something beyond her or his abilities, I want my child to be great in piano, but he doesn't like music. He's great in sports. But you want him to be a musician because you always wanted to be yourself and you couldn't. Now you want your child, but it's not in his abilities. And all of a sudden you belittle him and you push him and you corner him and you punish him and you discipline him for something not in his ability. Continuous blaming your child, always blaming him. When a mom quarrels with her husband and she tells the kid, it's because of you Dad wants to leave home. No, it's because you both don't know how to live together, how to communicate, how to endure each other. It's because of you Mom's sick. It's because of you Dad is this, that. Blaming is a provoking to our children. When you promise your kid to do something and you fail that promise, you tend to provoke your child. You promise that you will take them out. If you can't fulfill the promise, tell them, I am sorry guys, I will take you out tomorrow because something happened today. But don't ignore the whole promise because you leave them provoked. If you divulge his or her secrets to others, it's very hurtful and makes your daughter very provoked. When you are very strict and you are very cautious and you allow as if your kid has to live in a different planet, when you are over controlling in every aspect, and what they wear, what they say, what they speak, whom do they meet, what do they eat, what do they wear, where do they go, every single little thing. Of course, what I'm saying has some to do with each phase in life, but certain times you have to give a little freedom. We provoke them when we use provocative sentences. When you say, didn't I tell you you will not be able to do it? Didn't I say so? When you keep saying, not now, never, I will never do it. When you say, you must do what I said, that's a provocative sentence. There is no use in you. I know I will try, but I know you will never do it. I know you. Very provocative. Take it or leave it, that's it. This is my way or the highway. Provocative. I am warning you. I am threatening you. You will see. When you say God willing, but in a haphazard way, you don't mean actually waiting for God's will, but actually God willing meaning, yeah, I know what, Mom will never do it. She always say God willing when she doesn't want to do it. When you keep persistently saying no on everything, regardless of what if it's good or bad, beneficial or not. When you keep repeating things happened to you in the past and say, my church in the past was doing this and this. When I was young, I was doing this and this. My teacher was doing this and this. My grades were doing. When you keep comparing them in a different generation, different even century to what you were in, you end up by provoking them. When you try to never say sorry as a parent, as if your answers and your rules are beyond reproach, and you never make a mistake, and you are beyond apology, it's very provocative. When you describe a kid or your kid with something not nice, you are a failure, you are useless, you are ugly, your hair is like this, you will never get married. All of these slew of sentences that hurt and never help. When the Bible said, do not provoke them lest they become discouraged, what does the Bible meant by discouraged? What happens when we provoke our children? What are the results? Number one, and most important, low self-esteem. Unfortunately, so many children in so many churches, so many states suffer from low self-esteem. And the main and commonest cause is parents. They don't mean it, but unfortunately that doesn't give them a good excuse. When a parent always put her child down because she wants him to be better, unfortunately that child will be provoked into becoming discouraged. Forgetting the target, they don't know where they're heading, they don't know what they want in life, they don't know even they want to go to heaven or not, because you know what? We sometimes make heaven so difficult and God so strict because I'm supposed to resemble God. How can God be like my dad who's so strict, so unloving, so unkind, so ready to punish? If God like that, I would rather not go to heaven. When we blame the parents on our own mistakes, you will see when your kid grow up, if you keep provoking them, they will fail, but they will always say, it's my parents' fault. You don't want that on your conscience. Other results from being irritated or provoked, anger. Some parents call and say, my kid is angry all the time. Do you provoke them? Do you irritate them? Do you anger them? Do you put them down? Do you belittle them? And then you're wondering why they are angry. Shaky personality, they can't decide on what way to go. Hypocrisy, because it's better to show off in front of my parents the face they like. So if they want me to be looking like a deacon and appear like a choir girl, okay, I will do it. But I will do whatever I want in the back. Because you never showed them. You like them regardless. You accept them regardless. They daydream. When they are provoked, they get discouraged. And one of the manifestations is they keep daydreaming because they are not successful. So they live in the dreams of success, in building castles, in being famous, in having money, in being very, very prominent. Unfortunately, they cannot fulfill it in the reality, so they do it in their dreams. They become so passive and so negative, and they have some apathy. They become careless because you know what? I can't please mom and dad. They are never easily to be pleased. So you know what? I don't care. I don't want to do anything. I'm not going even to try. So we went from one extreme to the other. So now let's get to the positive part. What is the solution so I do not provoke my children any longer? Number one, as a parent, please, when you make a mistake, admit your mistake. If you made fun of someone, if you were angry at someone, if you belittled, say, I'm sorry, I don't mean that. I had a rough day today. I don't mean to say that. It was not meant to be said. I'm so sorry. The parent who knows how to apologize is a good parent, is a good role model. If you want your kid not to be provoked, start with yourself first. Apply what you ask on yourself before you apply it on them. Pray about it and for them. I loved when I hear some parents telling me, we consecrated Wednesday to pray fasting for our kids all their lives, to pray for them. And Friday, we consecrated so we pray for their significant other, for their spouses, that God may give them a good wife or a good husband. I love that, because now their prayers and fasting since they had children all their lives until they grow up are through fasting and prayers. How do you avoid provoking? By communicating, by enhancing communications in the family, by making the dialogue open, by avoiding too much antagonism and clashes. Also, try to get closer to understand your children. One of my mentors, Dr. Nabil Ba'i, I will never forget when he told me maybe 25 years ago that when he hears that his son has a football game, he will actually study who is playing with who, because he wouldn't know, like most of us. And he will learn who is the celebrity in that team and who got hurt and how much each player worth and where's their place in the league and everything. And while he's driving his son, he considered that an amazing time. He started asking, what do you think of so-and-so playing? And the kid will say, what? You know about this? Oh, I know a lot about that. And then he started telling him, do you think that this game will take them up to the third, or what do you think will happen? And they have a nice discussion. This kid will definitely be a friend of his dad. It's a great advice. Try to be understanding, closer, friendly with your kids. I wish each one of the parents listening to say, this year, regardless of the year, will be the year when I become a friend to my kid. And you work hard about it. You work hard on it for you to become a friend to your daughter or to your son. How about we take a full year? We always encourage our kids, even on the little things, and stop being critical on other things. Maybe when we encourage more, the wrong things will go down and the positive things will go up. Why don't you express your love, not just say I love, express it by hugs, by kisses, by tapping on the shoulder, by making a drink while he's sitting watching something, and give him orange juice and you are sitting next to him drinking orange juice. And it's all these gestures are helpful. Accept your kids' weaknesses rather than exploit them. You know your daughter is not good in math. Don't keep pushing that button every time. Rather speak about how great she is in science, how great she is in social studies. I know math is not your most powerful subject, but you know what? I trust you'll be great. Maybe you need help. Let me know, how can I help you? Do you need extra classes? But you know what? I know that you are amazing in all the other topics, so I'm not upset about that. All of a sudden, you made your kid to work harder without telling her to work harder. Respect their freedom. You can actually ask, do you mind if I check your call history? I'm not trying to be a spy, but I get worried when I see the same number being called many times. And I noticed in my accountant statement that you are calling this number a lot. Who is that? And why do you call them at, say, 11 p.m.? Try to listen to their dreams and say, yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, I think you'll be amazing in this. Not your own dream. I have seen kids, after their parents pushed them to be, let's say, pharmacists, behind the backs of the parents, they decided to study something else because they don't want it. But the parent wants them to be a lawyer or a pharmacist or a doctor. But do you want something else? Co-share in their responsibilities. Help them in projects. Tell them, I want to research with you. And all of a sudden you became a shareholder and you became a friend because you are helping them in their needs. Balance what you call discipline and what you call love and care. Balance them. Don't be too disciplining or too loving, but be almost orthodox in the way you parent. Please be empathic, meaning put yourself in the shoes of your daughter. I know you may be 20 years older and you do not know what she goes through, but listen and understand. If they are making fun of her because of her accents, because of her hair, because of where she comes from, because of her last name, whatever. You didn't have that growing up. Put yourself in your daughter's shoes. Maybe the way you will talk to your daughter will be different. Respect their feelings. Let them talk feelings, not just talk facts. Facts are like news. Everybody can know facts. I went to school, I finished at 2 o'clock, then I had gym, and after gym I came back, I washed, and after washing I had a dinner, and after dinner. That's not an answer to a question, how do you feel about it? How did you feel when this guy bullied you? How did you feel when this girl didn't want you to play with her? How did you feel when this friend of yours, betrayed you? How did you feel? The answer is never yes or no. Maybe the answer, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. That's fine, but when do you want to talk about it? You don't have to talk about it now, but you open that road that he will come back and say, Mom, can we talk? Do not please keep reminding them how much you sacrificed. Your parents sacrificed for you, and you sacrificed for your kids, and your kids will sacrifice for their kids. So, nothing new. You can't keep telling them, I'm standing 18 hours a day for you. I'm giving you all this money. I came from another country just for you. No, you did all of that because you want to do it. And you must do it because it's your job. And God will bless you for that. But don't keep reminding your kids with how much sacrifices you have done. These were some ideas, thoughts, on how not to provoke our kids and how to gain them to be our friends. I hope you enjoyed this episode from our show, Marriage on the Rock. Until we meet again, God bless.